Now is the time that we proceed with the closing arguments of the defense. Since the state has the burden of proof, the defense will go first and the state will wrap up second. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you can now obviously see that the prosecution's case doesn't prove beyond a reasonable doubt that my client committed the crime. If you remember, the evidence was brought to you, such as the police report that was brought to you by Middle County Sheriff's Office. It specifically states that my client was out of town at the time of the murder. With that being said, looking into the evidence, everything points to a different murder suspect. What we see here is a specially tied knot that had been tied to restrict the victim from moving. The more that we look at it, the more we can obviously tell that there is another person that is involved in this crime. As the police report states, the fighter units were wrapping up when they attempted to reach my client, and they were not able to contact him. If you look at all the evidence that has been portrayed to you throughout this trial, it shows that my client in no way, shape, or form could have committed this murder. He was out of town. He has receipts that have presented to you for him being out of town, staying at the motel, going to dinner with a colleague, all these different things. There are multiple different witness affidavits that have showed that there is no way my client could have been there. Now the prosecution is going to argue that they have done in order to prove that he did commit this crime is that he took the life insurance policy for a higher money of the money prior to the death of his wife. There is nothing against the law in adding protections for your family if the loss of income was to happen. This does not prove beyond a reasonable doubt that his crime was committed and murdered his wife for the money in the life insurance policy. How many of you on this jury have life insurance policies for your significant others? In the police report, it also states that there was bedding in a boathouse, suggesting that there was someone else staying there. The more we look into this, the more we see another suspect coming into play. Obviously, there was someone, maybe they were homeless, maybe it was someone that Mrs. Franks knew that was staying in the boathouse, where the rope was specifically. We talk about Mrs. Franks was tied up, and there was a specialty knot that was tied in the exact same identical type of rope that she was tied up with. It's found in the boathouse, where there was the bedding from someone staying there. The more that we look into this, the further you have to understand and realize that there's a possibility that another suspect is involved. My client is going through a lot. He just lost his wife. His house was just burned down. The last thing he needs or wants is to be accused of a murder in the person he loves the most. I appreciate your time, and I hope you guys make the right decision in making sure that my client is able to find the justice that he needs for the true murderer of his wife. I hope at the end of the day, you will acquit him of all charges in the first degree and move forward so that he is able to start coping with the loss of his wife. Thank you so much.